A recent gospel is one of my favorites, and understand that every gospel is inspiring. Every word of scripture is useful for teaching and the refutation of error. But this parable in particular has always been a great inspiration to me. It comes from Luke chapter 10, starting in verse 25, continuing through verse 37. And it is the parable of the Good Samaritan. And what I find to be so inspiring about it is there are three principal figures in that parable. There is the person laying in the ditch, wounded and unable to help themselves. There are the people who walk by on the street and either are not aware that there is someone laying there desperately in need of help, or even when they are aware of that person, they have all kinds of reasons to just keep walking. And then there is, of course, the figure of the Good Samaritan, him or herself, who stops to render aid. And what has made this gospel very useful in my life and continues to be is because I stop and think about which of those three figures am I. And we make a great deal about, being the wounded person, and we provide a lot of activities surrounding healing wounded people, both, and we're very clear about articulating our own need for healing and in providing healing for others. But one thing that we don't do very often, at least we don't do it publicly, is to ask ourselves, when was I that person who either was unaware of the need, or the person who was aware of the need but for whatever reason just decided, oh, well, that's somebody else's job. So I use that reflection on being one of the priests or one of the Levites who rationalized walking by, oh, I've got such a busy schedule, or I'm not really good at that, or there must be somebody else around to help. But I often use the consideration of the possibility that I am that person to discern what work or what activity or what relationship God may be calling me to next. So I'd like to invite all of you to join me in that reflection, particularly, right here, right now, we're in the midst of a big transition in the staff, and we're at the beginning of a new fiscal year. It's a really great sense of this is a new day, this is a new time, and this may be a great opportunity for me to take a new direction in my life, to take on a new relationship or a new way of being a witness to Christ in the world. Take the parable of the Good Samaritan to heart and to prayer, and ask the Lord to guide you, not only in a greater awareness of the needs of others, but also a greater commitment to be the one who stops to render aid. And remember, God really is who he says he is. You are who he says you are, and live the life that he created you to live.